Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Pursuit of Cabin Living series by 4Expedition. I'm Scott Leuthold. As you'll see here at the cabin, we've got a lot going on. We've accomplished a lot over the last week or two. I thought I'd share all of that with you. As you'll see here, we got our foundation done, and starting this coming week, we'll be getting going on the framing of this property, and hopefully we'll get that all framed out and dried in over the next week. I'll be sharing that with you in the next episode. And along the way, we've got a lot of things we've been learning about. We've been learning about wood stoves and pellet stoves and water systems and pump systems and composting toilet systems, and the list goes on and on and on. And as I mentioned to you in my last video, I don't really know a lot about this stuff, so I'm learning all of it as we go, as well as Heather. I mean, Heather's got a little bit of experience in certain areas. I've got a little experience in certain areas. And when we bring our heads together, we can get a lot accomplished. Now, fortunately, I've been able to, I guess, establish a good relationship with one of my neighbors, and he's got a lot of framing experience. He's going to come over and help us get this thing framed up. And what's really great about that, rather than us hiring a framer to come in and do all the work and just handle it all and just take video and shoot pictures, I'm going to be rolling up my sleeves, as well as Heather rolling up her sleeves, and we're going to be doing a lot of this framing ourselves. He's going to come over here. He's going to guide us. He's going to show us the first bit of every step, and then we're going to carry out the work and get things done, and then he'll come back and take us into the next step, and he'll teach us along the way. And what I love about that, that's one of the reasons I came out here. I don't know a lot about this kind of stuff. I don't know a lot about hunting. I don't know a lot about construction, although I've done a lot of cabinetry work and things like that in my own homes. I've not really done any structural construction and all of that. So I'm really excited to learn about those things, because I have a couple of other structures I'd like to build on the property, my own sheds, my own greenhouses and things like that. And so it would really be nice to know how to do these things. And so I feel like over the next week or two, I'm going to learn a great deal about framing that I never knew. And I've already learned a lot about concrete foundations and all of that from my good friends that came out and helped us do that work. So it's a really amazing learning experience. It's the middle of August, and actually it's early August, and the weather's been just incredible. This morning it was about 38 degrees when we got up. The high is expected to be about 75 today and all week. We've had a lot of rain last week. The rain subsided and the sun's come out. It was a little bit windy over the last couple of days, but it's just gorgeous right now. And we were just talking this morning about the fact that when we first arrived here, it was still spring. In fact, when I first arrived here in early April, I stayed in my RV down in Taos, and it snowed down there, and it got down to about 30 degrees. So I was staying in the RV in the snow, came up here in early May 1st, and it was still spring. So we experienced a lot of the blooming of the flowers and all of that, and now we're here through the summertime, and soon we'll be into the fall, and before you know it, it'll be wintertime, and hopefully we'll have this cabin done and ready to live in before it gets too cold. We don't want to be living in the RV over the winter, although that is something we would, I guess, be prepared to do if we had to. I don't feel like that's going to be necessary so long as we can get this thing dried in over the next week or two. And then Heather and I will start on doing the exterior. We're planning on doing a rusted corrugated on the exterior sides, and we've already ordered a cultured stone that we're going to do on the end of the cabin. So when you pull in the driveway, you'll see the cultured stone. It's going to be very, very cute, very quaint. I've done quite a bit of stone work in the past, so we'll be doing the stone ourselves. We're going to rust the corrugated ourselves, and we'll install that ourselves. We're sourcing corrugated from a couple of different places, one in Phoenix and one in Albuquerque currently. So we've got a lot of things that we've got to do. But that's what we're here to do. We're here to learn how to do this. We're here to share this process with all of you, and there's really no reason to rush things. We're just taking it day by day, and that's one of the things that I think we've learned since we've been here. Of course, everything happens mañana here, so that's kind of interesting. But for me personally, there's sort of two sides to the coin. We are pressured to get this cabin done before it gets too cold, because we want to be able to live in it over the winter. Yet we're still here learning how to take things day by day. We moved here from a big city, 6 million people in Phoenix, and there was a lot of hustle and bustle, and a lot of planning goes on when you're living in a big city like that. You're planning far out. when you're here in a place like this, you start to get into a flow, and the flow is just day by day and hour by hour. And for me, there's so many things that we need to do yet that I get overwhelmed if I think about all the things I've got to get done. So what I do is I break it down into smaller pieces. I have lists, and we just take one day at a time, and we do one thing at a time systematically to get things done. And by the time, winter comes, everything should be done. So it's just a really wonderful thing out here, and I'm really excited to share all of this with you. So sit back and enjoy the ride. So we got some of our kitchen cabinets delivered, so we're going to go ahead and bring some of those in, kind of set them in place, but we're not going to nail them down or screw them down until we get the appliances, which is hopefully this weekend. So we're going to bring some of those in. It's kind of an exciting thing for us because we're going to start to see the kitchen come together. All right, 2-step, kind of 1.5 step-ish. Doing an excellent job. So this is our kitchen sink. We're going to do a farmhouse sink, and you'll notice that it's white. And you'll notice over there in the corner, the Lazy Susan is unfinished, natural. That's because some of the pieces that we really wanted only came in white, and only some of the pieces we wanted came in natural. We wanted everything natural so that we could stain it or do whatever. Well, because we weren't able to do that and we were trying to be cost sensitive, we decided that some of our cabinets are going to be finished stain, and some of them are going to be painted, and we're going to paint them kind of I would say a rustic, old world rustic, maybe teal or green or something like that. So it'll end up being really cute when it's all done, but initially we're going to have unfinished cabinets and white cabinets mixed together. I think we just lift it out, right?
I think so.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, maybe open the door here. What you're also going to notice is there's gaps here. And we purchased some fascia that goes on here that will match. And we'll cut that to fit at some point. However, for now, we just have to do what we have to do in order to be able to fit everything in this space by purchasing out-of-the-box solution. One good thing about having this gap right here is because back here, there's an electrical outlet that has to be moved. And what I think I might do is run it inside the Lazy Susan and out the side here, and then put a receptacle here, and then we'll put another receptacle right up here.
Nice.
All right, so we got the first pieces in. Sink, sink, Lazy Susan, cabinet, drawers, and then right there, I think we're gonna put the stove there. Then we have another one of those, goes over here. And then we have this upper here, which is going to go up in here. I think we're gonna flip these two, but we'll decide that once the appliances get here. Unfortunately, the one that was supposed to go here was delivered, but it came destroyed on the truck. So we denied delivery on that. Have a new one coming. This piece here is coming in the middle of August, and we have this piece here. But hopefully this weekend we're gonna go and get the appliances, which will help us to figure out just how much space we actually need. What are we gonna make?
We are gonna make bean soup. I think it's like 7 bean soup.
Very
With
nice.
Some vegetables or something. This is like off-grid dishwashing. Pursuit of cabin living. So glamorous all the time.
Collecting some water.
You want to make fish in the crock pot?
The fish that Rachel gave us?
Yeah.
What is
rainbow,
that?
Rainbow trout.
Rainbow trout, yeah. We can make that in a crock pot?
Now, this one is for tilapia, but we can, obviously use the trout instead and kind of change the ingredients if we want to. This has like a lot of mayonnaise, which...
Yeah, neither one of us want.
But, yeah, that would be a good one.
Let's do that. So there you have it. We're going to try putting rainbow trout in a crock pot. It takes 3 or 4 hours to bake, you're saying? Is it baked?
Well, it's crock-potted.
Crock-potted? What is that then? Is that baked? Is it broiled? Is it boiled? Is it...
Crock-potted.
It's crock-potted.
Well, it's in foil. So
Oh, okay. So we have it in tinfoil. All
it's
right.
like steamed in there.
Steamed? Well, there's one full 3.5 gallon jug of water. Thank you, Mother Nature. Awesome. I love Mother Nature. Well, there you go. We filled all of our jugs of water.
Well, hey, it's not clear, but
All right.
I think we can drink
So we're
that.
gonna give it a try. I mean, what's the worst that's gonna happen?
It'd be like Mexico, like you get the sickness.
What's it taste like?
Snow, like when the snow melts.
Does it taste like yellow snow?
It's good. Here.
Looks pretty clear. Looks like rainwater. Smells like rainwater. Tastes like rainwater. Well, I'm all about temporary solutions. I'll probably make a really great solution for water catchment at some point here. But in the meantime, as I showed you just a few minutes ago, we were able to fill up all of our water tanks with rainwater. So what I decided to do is take some scrap wood that we pulled out of the cabin and make a simple little water catchment system. Let me show you that. So basically, I took a bunch of scrap wood from the cabin after we did the demo, and we saved most of that, which I think is a really good idea. But I made this little table here in a few minutes, and it's pretty easy to put a water brick underneath there. And it might be a little difficult to get it out when it's full because of this bottom bracket here that I put on for stability, but for now it'll do the trick. But I made this here in this igloo water cooler. We had 2 of these that came with the cabin. So I just took the top off and put a screen on there, a window screen. That'll help keep all of the debris out. And the water will just come down in here. It's a nice big circle hole, so we don't have to really worry about creating a chain system to catch the water, because it doesn't really work that well. A chain system wouldn't really work that well on this awning. But it comes down here, we catch the water in here, fills up to a certain level, and we have this turned on. And as it fills up, it'll just start filling the water brick. And then when a water brick gets full, we can just flip that off, pull out the full water brick, put an empty one in there, turn it back on, and before you know it, we're going to fill up all of our water bricks every time it rains, and it's been raining almost every day. So just as I finished that little water catchment system, my good buddy Arlie, who's one of my neighbors, who's very helpful and very kind, came over and offered to let me use his 2 25-gallon BPA-free water tanks and his pump system that can be connected to 12-volt batteries. So he's got a method, he said, that'll allow me to be able to fill those up on his site. He's got a well, and then bring those home and slide them off onto a platform and then connect them to 12-volt batteries so that we have a pump system that can pump the water into the RV. So I'm gonna go check that out. All right, so got this new system here from my neighbor. Check this out. So these are 25-gallon water tanks. He was nice enough to fill them up in his well, and they're by a company called High Country Plastics out of Idaho. And what they're designed for, there's two of them here, and what they're designed for is putting your horse saddle over the top of it to store your horse saddle, but it also is a place to store 25 gallons of water. So he filled these two up, 50 gallons of water, and he put them on this pallet here. We're probably not going to be able to get them off the truck right now, but I've got an idea for what we can do in the future. But what I plan on doing is removing them off the back of the truck. And then right over here in the back of the RV, I've got this steel framed platform over on the side of the cabin that I'm going to set right here. And then he gave me a really cool little water pump that you connect to a 12-volt battery, and I'll just have to get some hoses and run it in here. And he told me that whenever I run out of water here, I can go over and fill up in his well all summer long. So now we have at least 50 gallons of water at all times. Plus I have the water catchment system that I plan on using to fill up the water bricks as well. So our water problems are over. So we found, believe it or not, this strong metal tabletop that perfectly fits on this platform. I'm wondering if it was meant for there. Who knows? And I unstrapped these things, and we're going to try to slide one of these off. It's almost the same height. Next time, I think we'll make sure that the this platform is back far enough so it's easier to slide over, but we're going to give it a try. Is it good?
It's going.
Keep going.
Okay. Oh, which way?
Your way.
My way.
We got 50 gallons of water. It's a little inconvenient. I could have turned it this way, but it's easier to slide it off from the tailgate straight on. And I don't have to drive on the grass too much, which I don't want to do. And I just get a BPA hose connected here, release the valve, run the hose over here with a pump, and should be able to fill our water now. Boom.
So we made rainbow trout in the crock pot, just in foil. So we have 3 packages of foil. This top one is potatoes, like little baby potatoes with butter and garlic. And the bottom, these two are our fish packets.
This fish was caught right up here at one of the lakes by our good friend Rachel. She was nice enough to give that to us, and gave us a good idea on how to prepare it. Boy, that looks fantastic.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you so much to our good friend Rachel.
I love these little baby potatoes.
This just looks so good. Working on right there. We have a pier going right here for the deck. Then there's a pier going here. There's gonna be another pier here. And we've got piers going down this way. But the reason we're putting 2 piers there is because I'm going to cut the corner off this deck. And the reason I'm going to cut the corner off this deck and they're going to put a concrete foundation out there is because I'm going to have a stone fireplace right on the corner of the deck.
It's a shitty day here at the cabin, literally.
Right there's where our black water and our gray water tank drains out. And it's really low to the ground. We went to Albuquerque and we got this guy. And our idea, which we thought was brilliant, was going to be to put this up underneath that hole and drain our black water tank into here. Now, we have a porta potty and we're doing number 2 in the porta potty. And the only thing we're doing over here in this bathroom is number 1, and usually only in the middle of the night or early in the morning, so we don't have to walk out to the porta potty. And so the other day, you want to tell them what happened, or should I?
You can tell them what happened, but let me just start by saying this. Read directions first. Tighten all screws before starting anything that's poop related.
Unfortunately, I didn't read directions, and you're supposed to tighten those things down. And so we put this thing under that thing, and we opened up the black water tank to release, and most of it, fortunately, went into this tank. Things get better from here. So we drag the thing over to the porta potty. I lift it up. We open the door. I lift it up, set it down on the toilet seat, thinking how brilliant we are. Going to open up the valve on this little hose on this guy here. And instead of the stuff coming out of the end of the hose, the entire hose decided to fly off. In which case, fortunately for me, I had long rubber boots on, because everything that was inside our bodies was now all over the floor inside the porta potty. And my lovely esteemed colleague here, Heather, she had some Birkenstocks on.
Not these.
Not her cute little rubber boots. And so she ended up with all sorts of feces and urine sloshing between her toes. And it was just an absolutely disgusting mess. And we literally just stood there, right? We just stood there like frozen, like, oh my God. Oh my. The only thing I can relate it to was when my son was a baby and I'm rocking him in a rocking chair at like 3 o'clock in the morning. He just ate some, he just drank some milk out of a bottle, and then he projectile vomited all over me, and it went down my shirt, into my underwear, and down into my shoes. And it was pretty much the same thing.
Yum.
Except,
Thanks, Colin.
yeah, instead of his throw up, it was other stuff. Anyway, so having said that, we are no longer using this thing because it does not work for our RV because that is too low. And instead, I have a macerator. I'm not going to show you anything gross. This is called a macerator, and it's really awesome. You hook this end up to the black water, and you put that down in the septic hole for when you're going to drain out your tank at a wastewater disposal facility. And then it's got this really cool valve on it. You connect a water hose to that, and usually at those facilities, there's running water. So you turn on the running water, it shoots high pressure water into here. And as all of the black water and solids come down into here, it breaks it all up with high pressure water, sends it through the hose and down the drain. Well, that's what we decided to use now instead of this thing. And what this has allowed us to do is to drain it into a bin rather than that cassette over there. And then we very carefully, carry it all the way to the porta potty and pour it down the urinal. Now, we aren't married, and we've only known each other now, what, 3 months? 3 months. So here we are walking down the dirt road to our porta potty, each taking an end of the bin, which is open topped, and being extremely careful not to spill it on our hands, on our legs, on the driveway, and then very carefully entering into the porta potty and draining it into the urinal in there. And we're looking at each other thinking, how could this be anything less committed than getting married? Right? So there you have it. That's our very crappy experience. Keep going. Keep going. There's the chunks.
Get it.
All right, so needless to say, not everything out here is glamorous. And that's the reason I decided to show this to you, because a lot of people get a lot of really, I guess, romantic ideas of cabin life. And I will tell you that about 85% of it is absolutely incredible bliss. However, there's that other percentage that you just don't want to do, but you have to. And we're going to find out over the course of the next 12 months of living through all 4 seasons, what kinds of things we're going to have to do that we really don't want to do, but we'll just have to do it. I mean, this is our way of life. This is how we live. This is how we plan on living. And it's just, most of the time, it's just absolutely fantastic. And if you're with a partner like I have, like Heather, no matter how crappy the experience, there's always a positive side. And if you stay positive. I think the other day when we had such a mess, we both just stood there, just grossed out, but we were laughing our heads off the whole time as well. So anyway, if you can be lighthearted about those kinds of things, you'll get by. Okay, and we're going to attach this end over here.
Well, there it goes.
We just had a nice little rain. Looks like my little contraption's working. The window screen's filtering all the impurities. The water's running into the jug. It comes down here. I've got this valve turned on, and it's putting all the water down into the water brick. As soon as that's filled up, just flip that off. And the rainwater keeps filling up the igloo. This is full under here. I can pull this out and put another one in. So we never really intended to use this water as drinking water, although I don't think I'd be really too concerned about doing so, other than the fact that it's coming off the awning on the RV. It is going into this igloo cooler and then dropping right down through at least one filtration system that I've got, a pretty big screen, into the water tanks. But we do have another solution that we're working on as well. But I do think that this is a really cool little contraption, and I just thought it was fun to create. Bringing out the big guns. Giant cock.
What do you think? How's that going?
It's going. It's if you go really slowly, it does it pretty nice and evenly. You filling in woodpecker holes?
Like this big of a gap.
Well, today my boys came back to work on laying out the eco block on the foundation that was poured last week. And we'll get the eco block all laid out today. And then I believe they're going to come tomorrow and pour the concrete for the whole foundation. And once that's done drying, then we can start working on the building the structure over the top of that. If you're not familiar with EcoBlock, it's pretty cool stuff. Here's a corner piece, and it's styrofoam, and it's got these plastic inserts that keep the concrete in place. And you set these up almost like Legos. And once you set them all up, which I'll show you a little bit later, then you pour the concrete inside of here. And then you don't remove the foam. You leave the foam on. So that's what helps insulate your foundation. Pretty cool stuff. One of the blessings of living in New Mexico. Our friends here brought us some tamales from Mora. Mora is located just south of here a ways. I'm gonna open this up here. Uno momento.
Robert can bring that peanut all week.
What?
You guys want to get it from town?
Look at that. We finally made it to the far side, the west side of the cabin. We're putting sealer here. This is all wet seal. There will not be a single spot, as I mentioned earlier, left unsealed on this cabin when we're done. But it's about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, I think. Just started to rain, so I think we're gonna go in and have some breakfast. Concrete guys finished for today, just before the rain started. Got all the forms around the EcoBlock. Hopefully gonna pour concrete on Thursday. Starting to come together.
You can see Scott through the window right there. We are sealing the cabin in between raindrops and monsoons here. Let's see how he's doing. How you doing up there, honey?
We're doing.
How's the elevation up there?
I think I'm sitting at around 9,500 feet.
He's doing a good job sealing the cabin up for the weather.
And for the bugs.
Bugs, definitely the bugs.
Well, we just finished caulking in between all the logs all the way around the cabin. The only area we didn't do is right back in the middle here where the addition's going to go. And we will, once they're done pouring here, I'll get up there and put some around. And then once we put the addition on, we'll have to go back and fill in so that there's no leaking. But I don't know how many tubes of this stuff we used, but it's really great stuff. Here you can see this is still wet. It looks like it's shiny, but it's not. It's just reflecting the blue sky. But if you back up here, you can see that it just kind of blends in. So it's pretty nice stuff. Happy to be done. We did all the way up, even on the brighter logs that haven't been exposed so much. So it came out really nice. On to the next project. High five.
Look, we need pedicures and manicures now.
Well, today's an interesting day. We went down to Santa Fe yesterday, spent the day down there. We picked up our appliances. I purchased these similar appliances for my condo in Carefree before I sold it and renovated that place. But it's a compact, really nice side-by-side refrigerator and an electric range. We're going to bring those into the cabin today, set those in place so we can determine just how well our cabinets are going to fit.
That was easy.
She didn't know what she was getting herself into. On three, 1, 2. grab that piece of cardboard. Okay. Keep going.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn it around. Well, I'm in the back, so.
Oh wait, we're off of the stuff. Okay. So now what? Keep going. Good job, honey.
All right, so we got our fridge in here. We definitely didn't want to damage the floor, so we used sections of cardboard down here. Ready for the big reveal?
Yeah. Da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da-da. Oh, look at that. That's pretty snazzy. It's totally cute. It's narrower than a normal refrigerator, but it's got the two sides and the up top and the bottom freezers. It does not have an ice or water dispenser, but that's okay. This is a little cabin. We don't have all the conveniences.
Hey, we don't have water.
She makes a good point. We don't have water. Well, there you go. The kitchen's coming together. That white thing's going to end up there. There's another white one that's coming up here. And then that, as I mentioned before, one of those goes right here. And now we've got the fridge in the corner. It'll probably pull out just a little bit so that it doesn't hit the countertop, but looks pretty nice. Got a whole kitchen. There'll be an island here. It's just gonna be a really nice little kitchen for this tiny cabin. Good.
What you doing there, love? Messing up our concrete?
I'm making it 10 times better.
Good.
All right, so we just got this thing shipped to us from Idaho. Cost about $450 to have shipped. And this is a 500-gallon water tank. This is called a loaf water tank. It's horizontal. It's got a 8-inch hole in the top for filling. And then on this end over here, it's got an output hole. So this is where you connect to it an outward bound pipe and then connect that to a pump, and then that's what's going to pump water into our bathroom, into our showers, into our kitchen sink, and all of that. So now we're going to take that and we're going to drop it down in this hole. And the reason we chose to do that is because it gets below zero here in the wintertime, and so we're going to keep our 500-gallon water tank underneath the house, and then I'm going to run some warm air heating system blowing into here, and just it'll be great to keep the water from freezing all winter long.
My end goes that way?
This end goes down in.
Do. Fingers crossed it fits.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2. One, two.
Okay, I'm on this. You're down?
I'm down. Got lots of room. Okay, hang on. We're gonna have to just push it. All right, well, there you go. As you can see, we've designed it to be just perfect. There's a little extra room on the sides, on either side. I pushed it all the way toward the back. This gives us room here to run some plumbing out of it. And then here on this platform or somewhere around here, we'll run a pump. And then that'll come up. And essentially, this is going to be a closet that you walk into, and we're going to have a trap door here so we can open this up and take a look, make sure everything looks good. And then starting, I would say right about here, there's going to be a bathroom that comes over, as I've showed most of you before, over to about here. So our water's going to be in there. We'll run a pump. We'll have an instant hot in the bathroom here, and then we'll run some plumbing over to the kitchen, which is inside that window there.
Hey, there's a deer hanger.
Oh yeah. Well, we're out exploring in the rain. Look at how green this is. It's raining so hard out there you can't really even see the mountains. The truck's doing a great job. Heather has the bright idea of crossing Little Coyote Creek in her rubber boots, following this little game trail here. And it is a game trail, not a hiking trail. Pardon? The creek gets a little bit bigger over here? Better. Doesn't get bigger, it just gets better.
Mushrooms, but it looks like coral. It's so cool.
Yeah?
So I don't have a camera, so you have to take.
Oh, coral colored mushrooms?
No, like, it looks like coral. Like, literally
Oh, really?
coral.
Oh my gosh.
Doesn't that look coral?
What is that? Is that a mushroom?
I think it's a shroom.
Oh my gosh.
The one on the right is really orange and neat on the side.
Wow. That's pretty cool. It must have been some kind of a water catchment system or something, or a feed.
Probably a few chocolate, you said.
It does kind of look like a coffin. Yeah, you could bury me here if you want.
Right there. Right.
Bury me right here, right next to Little Coyote Creek. North Fork or East Fork? North Fork of Little Coyote Creek. Okay.
Right by the coral.
Very cool rainbow here. Check this out. Goes all the way over and comes down on this side of that ridge up there. All right, my friends, I think that's it for this episode of the Pursuit of Cabin Living series by 4Expedition. I really hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. If you haven't become a subscriber to my channel, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button. Of course, be sure to hit that notification bell to be notified when videos go live. And if you consider yourself to be an adventurer and you're looking for an adventurer community, consider joining Team 4X by going to 4expedition.com/join to learn more. Until the next time, take care.